And so there's a sense that art is most itself when it breaks away from the expectations and the traditions that once shaped it, and expresses the genius and the spontaneity and the unique individuality of the artist. You could say that the seeds for that tradition were already sown by those first Enlightenment thinkers, and that it's the outworking of this tendency in Western modernity to want art to be its own justification and to no longer be some sort of subsection of theology. There are all sorts of good things about that. There's certainly all sorts of exciting things about that, and I think any theological recovery there might be of the value of art for theological exploration, and indeed of aesthetics as a domain of human understanding, human relationship to the world, will need to take account of those developments in modernity and not necessarily just dismiss them out of hand. There is in the 19th century one significant exception, in the English-speaking world at least, to that, what I call the subjectification of the language of aesthetics, and that's Samuel Taylor Coleridge, some would argue the greatest Anglican theologian, although often not thought about as a theologian because he's more famous in other respects as a poet and a writer about literature. But Coleridge had a strong sense that in experiences of beauty and indeed of aesthetic creativity, of artistic creativity, one was encountering an affinity between the mind of the artist, or indeed the mind of the appreciator of art, and the mind of God found in creation, in nature. And he talked about this in terms of the logos, that the logos that human beings have when they both make and appreciate art meets with the logos at work in creation, in the natural world, in the making of great works of art, and that there remains therefore something profoundly theological about the relationship between